Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You and host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by Alicia Niles and Lydia Kimmerling. I butchered your name again, didn't I, Alicia?
That's okay. You're good.
Terrible.
It is Alicia, but that's okay.
Alicia.
I'll answer to it.
Yeah, even after I practiced it. That's how bad I am. Anyway, forget about me. Let's play Jeopardy. Let's load up the board. Today's categories are friendly phrases, gems, islands. Lydia's on an island currently. Languages, science, and gardening. Alicia, on the left.
Yes.
You can kick things off.
Okay. Let's go with friendly phrases for 300.
Friendly phrases for 300. Christ said, "Greater love hath no man than to do this for his friends."
To die for his friends. What is to die for his friends?
To give up his life. Yes, that is die. Well done, Alicia.
Thank you.
What would you like next?
Okay.
If you know Lydia, just holler.
I've actually got no idea what I'm doing here. But
I'm kind of guessing too. I'm like, all right. Let me go ahead and I will try friendly phrases for 400.
Friendly phrases for 400. Prosperity makes friends, but this tries them. Must be the other P word. I don't know.
You give me a hint.
The opposite of prosperity is what I'm guessing.
What is poverty?
Could be right. Let's take a look.
Probably not.
No, adversity. It was kind of up the right tree. You're still in control, though, Alicia.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and try for... I'll try gems for 200.
Gems for 200. The 787 carat Great Mogul diamond was the largest found in this country.
I have no idea.
I'm
going to say, what is Africa?
Yeah. Which country in Africa? Did you say Africa?
I did say Africa. What is South Africa?
South Africa. Let's take a look. I know they do pull out a few diamonds. Oh, it's from India.
Oh,
well,
okay. I am
know that.
in the hole. Okay. Starting off great here.
It's all right. You don't get penalised. You're still in control. What would you like?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get control.
If I got it wrong, I'm still...
Yeah, you got one of them right, and you keep control until Lydia gets one right. That's how we do it.
Oh, okay. I am going to go for friendly phrases for 200.
200 friendly phrases finishes the saying, "Friendship is a plant which must often..."
What is be watered?
Be watered is correct. Well done, Alicia.
Thank you.
I thought it was going to be smoked.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of avoiding some of the ones I'm not that aware of. Let's see. Friendly phrases for 100.
Friendly phrases 100. He is a friend indeed. Who is a friend indeed?
Oh, what is a friend in need?
A friend in need is correct. Well done, Alicia. On fire. Don't worry, Lydia.
Okay,
you'll get in there soon.
Let me go ahead and be completely predictable. Let's go. Let's just clear out the friendly phrases.
500.
I will embarrass
Friends are the thieves of this.
Friends are the thieves. What is loneliness or solitude?
That's a very good answer.
It's wrong though.
Time.
Oh,
that's a bit nasty.
Profound.
Yeah, friends are more than that. You're still in control. We've got gems, islands, languages, science, and gardening left.
Let's go with islands for 100.
Islands for 100. This barren Italian island became famous after a fictional count uncovered a treasure there.
What is Corsica?
Monte Cristo.
Oh, okay.
The Count of Monte Cristo. Yeah, I've heard.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
shoot.
Yeah.
I have heard of that. Okay.
What would you like?
Let's see. Let's do languages for 200.
Languages for 200. Gullah is still spoken by some... Wow, these are 80s questions. I don't know that we would say it like that now. Gullah is still spoken by some black people in this country.
I'm going to guess
Cringe.
what is Haiti. I'm going to guess what is Haiti.
The United States. Wow. So, I guess if we had said African American, we would have given away the answer to the country.
True.
But anyway, that's from about 1985, this particular question. What would you like, Alicia?
To get more right. And let's see. Let's go with languages. Well, actually, I'm not going to. Let's try science for 100.
Science for 100. Invented by Edwin Land. It was the first instant camera. You might have played with one in elementary school.
What is Polaroid?
Polaroid is correct. Well done.
Yay.
They were pretty fun. The picture quality was a little bit garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's try science for 200.
Science for 200. When Henry Cavendish discovered this lightest known element, he called it inflammable air.
What is helium?
Lydia. What is something that's light and floaty and flammable? It is hydrogen, which is the one that they put inside the Hindenburg, which blew up. And they never did it again. For good reason. Alicia, you still in control?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's go with gardening for 100.
Gardening for 100. Junipers and Japanese maples are especially suited for this type of tree dwarfing.
Okay. Do I answer?
Yes, you do.
Okay. What is bonsai tree?
Bonsai, Mr. Miyagi. Well done.
Love Karate Kid. Let's do gardening for 200.
Gardening for 200. These little red beetles will help guard your garden from aphid scale and spider mites. Particularly,
what are ladybugs?
Yeah, ladybugs or lady birds or lady beetles. Well done.
Okay. I feel like is it Lydia's turn yet? Okay.
Well, you just gotta have a crack and get one.
What, me?
Yeah.
Does she get a
You can
chance?
holler. When I said holler, I mean you can, if you know the answer, you can call out the answer.
Oh,
Okay.
I've been monopolizing this whole time. Sorry.
No, I'm not good at this. So.
All right. Well, we'll let Lydia pick one. Get her involved. Come on, Lydia.
Okay.
Let's go. Languages 100.
Languages 100. What do they speak in Ibiza? No, just giving you a softball. More people in...
That one I can do.
You can do. More people in County Galway speak this language than in any other county. Okay, I'll give you a clue. I think Galway's in Southern Ireland.
Yeah. I will. I'd say Irish. Gaelic.
Gaelic, yes. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Let me check. Gaelic is correct. Well done. Look at that, Lydia. She's on the board. 100 points. We just needed her to bring her in. And now she's blossomed in front of us. What would you like, Lydia?
Let's stick with languages 300.
Languages 300. The Ciceronian age, followed by the Augustan age, created the golden age of literature in this language. Now, with your ancient
Latin?
countries... What was that?
Latin.
That's a great answer. Let's take a look. It is correct. Lydia is on fire. 400 points, storming up to Alicia. You're still in control, Lydia. How exciting! I should have given you a horn. Hang on. There you go. You'll hear her on the replay. Lydia.
Let's just stick with languages. 400.
Languages for 400. R. Tagore, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature, turn that off, wrote in this language of Bangladesh. What do they speak in Bangladesh? Which you might hear in some parts of the UK. Starts with a B. It's not. You got in India. In India, they speak Hindi and lots of other things. Pakistan's Urdu. Bangladesh's Bang.
Bangalore?
Ooh. It's actually
Bengali.
Bengali is correct. Did you read that?
No, I can't read it.
Absolutely
It's so
nailed
small.
it, Lydia. Bengali. I thought it was something else, Bangla or something. Lydia, what would you like? You're on 800
Stick with
points.
languages 500.
Languages 500. Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo are the principal. Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo are the principal African languages spoken in this country. If you're a football fan, the national colours of the football team is green and white.
African languages spoken in this country.
Lots of players in the Premier
Nairobi.
League come from this country. Well, some. Strong football country in Africa. They speak Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo.
Kenya? No.
Nigeria is the answer.
Nigeria.
When I said football team, Alicia was thinking about the LA Rams.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, I know. It's soccer.
All right, Lydia, you're still in control.
Oh,
Unfortunately, says Lydia.
Let's go for Islands 200.
Islands for 200. Once called Oyster Island, it became part of the Statue of Liberty National Monument in 1965. What island is around the Statue of Liberty?
What is Ellis Island? I know that.
Ellis
I've been there.
Island is correct. Well done, Alicia. Great job.
I've been there.
Yes, Alicia's back. 1200. What would you like?
Let's see. I'll go with gardening for 300.
Gardening for 300. Some roses form these seed pods rich in vitamin C after they bloom and drop their petals. Oh, yeah. It's a type, I think, look, it's a type of thing you can plant in the ground. And it will grow into a plant, but it's not a seed. It's
What are bulbs?
bulbs.
Hopefully.
Is that, it says rose hips, is that the same thing?
Maybe I'm wrong. Nope, it's not.
It's not.
Bulbs
Okay,
are
I
like
thought it was
tulips.
bulbs.
That's what I
And
was wrong.
Alicia thought it was bulbs. None of us were correct. All right,
Did you know, Lydia?
Nope.
No, didn't know that one. 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll see if Lydia can win.
I think she's winning.
400, 400 behind. Alicia, you're in control still. What would you like?
Let's go with islands for 300.
Islands for 300. One of Iowa's quad cities and a railroad bear the name of this island. Iowa's quad cities. Iowa. I didn't know anything about Iowa. Is that a state?
It is a state.
So why have they got islands if they're in the middle there? Are they on the big lakes or something?
No, they're quite. It's very remote.
Is it on the coast?
No, not even. It's right smack dab in the middle
Yeah, I
of the
thought
United
so.
States. It's like flat as flat as flat.
What's the
they get
capital
cold,
of
too.
Iowa? So I know.
Des Moines. I
Des
think.
Moines. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know nothing about that place. All right.
So,
What's the island out that way? Do we know? Nobody knows.
absolutely no idea.
Rock Island.
Okay.
Sounds pretty cool. One more question. Alicia.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and I'm not being very gutsy.
Gonna do gardening?
Not after that one. Not after
No?
that one. Sure, let's do gardening for 400. I don't know. My mom's a
talked
gardener,
you
but I
into
am
it.
not.
Ladies' slippers, ladies' tresses, and dragon's mouth are examples of this exotic flower.
Orchid.
Lydia says orchid.
I think she's
Well
right.
done, Lydia. You got it. Okay, look.
You destroyed
We've
me.
got a tie. Okay. We've got a tie, so we're going to have to keep going.
Okay.
All right, so how are we going to do this? I'll pick a question. Whoever gets it wins. We'll do an easy one.
Ooh, the pressure's on.
Gems for 100. I didn't even know we had a category of gems. What we do. The name of this gemstone came from the Greek smaragdos, which probably meant any green stone.
Jade.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess. But
Emerald is the green one. It is jade
Oh.
is the green one, but I think jade is not a gem. It's some sort of stone. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a gem. Who knows?
Yeah.
my first,
Yeah, you had that one. You thought of emerald.
I thought of emerald,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm.
All right,
Oh my
we'll keep
goodness,
going.
Sorry.
300. Many of the red stones classified as the fire variety of this fiery gem come from Mexico.
Ruby.
What is ruby?
Ruby's red. Lydia got it first. It's,
Okay.
It's opal. Not correct.
Opal?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of gems.
We got lots of opals down here as well. Rubies are a form of this stone, the hardest in the world after diamond.
Form of this.
Oh, yes. Does that mean...
garnet's the first thing that comes to my mind?
Does it?
but,
Hey, that's interesting what you said. And then the other one is starts with an S.
Sapphire. A sapphire.
Sapphire. Let's take a look. Corundum.
What?
Corundum.
I've never heard of that.
Nor have I. All right, let's do gems for 500. According to Britannica, the Encyclopedia of Britannica, which no one has looked at in 50 years, this August birthstone is also called precious olivine. Birthstone. Now, how many birthstones are there? There's only... Is it to do with star signs or something?
Is it
Mine's a
Tiger's
garnet.
Eye?
What was that, Lydia?
Tiger's Eye?
Tiger's eye. It was Perdeaux. All right. Should we do science or islands? Let's do science.
Okay.
Galileo is said to have done gravity experiments by dropping weights from this tower. Galileo.
What is the Leaning Tower of Pisa? No, maybe. I'm
The
gonna say
Leaning Tower of Pisa is correct. Well done, Alicia. Is the winner. 1,500 points versus 1,200. It was a good game. Had to go into a tiebreaker. Well done, Alicia. Well played, Lydia. Lydia was a dark horse. Didn't say anything for about half an hour, and then came back to almost win it. It was a very good game. All right, let's pop over to Alicia. Tell us a little bit about your story. You've written a book. Tell us about your what happened to you, first of all.
Well, so I've written a book that we're still trying to get published. We're going traditional. It's called Angel in Arlington. My dad was murdered when I was 2 years old. It will be, yes, I'm 51. So it will be 49 years this Thursday, March 27th. Today is his birthday. But I grew up with absolute terror, with undiagnosed PTSD for over 30 years. And so I suffered the ramifications of his loss, including, things that I have come to find out are very, very common in children who have lost loved ones at an early age. I was a chronic people pleaser. I opened myself up to abuse. Very long story short, no pun intended. I finally decided it was time to face his murder, to find out what really happened, to face the two things that scared me the most, which was the U.S. Navy and my dad's killer. Come to find out, the Navy... Oh, sorry.
So, yes, I've got a few questions. So, did your father's death happen in the military, in the Navy?
Yes.
While serving?
He was on board his ship in Pearl Harbor. Not the
Okay.
battle. Not that
So
old, but
it was other naval personnel. So we'll get to that in a minute. And you talked about because this kind of happened to my mum as well. And when she was a little girl, lost her father, and it absolutely there's certain things that she cannot. If she goes to a funeral, she just absolutely loses it, even if she barely knows the person. And there's all these little things that it just affected her. And she never got to properly grieve, and I expect you've got the same feeling. And what are some of the other things? Because PTSD is a real curveball, because it seems to get worse. Like, it creeps up on people, and before you even know there's something wrong, you're starting to feel all these little things, and then it just starts snowballing. Do you want to tell us a little bit about when you started to experience that? Because I know a lot of people go through this, and some people don't even know what's wrong, and it's a real big problem. Tell us about your experience with that, the trauma.
Well, I don't have a single memory of my dad. I don't have a single memory of before he was killed. And so I did grow up terrified of everything. My mind immediately would jump to worst case scenario. My mom would leave the house. I'd hold my breath until she came home. Not literally, but I was always afraid of something bad happening. Yeah. And I was embarrassed about it. So as a result, it's so weird because I look back at the thoughts that went through my head as a little kid. And I was constantly comparing myself to other people, and I was a people pleaser, which opened me up to, of course, forms of abuse, eating disorders. I mean, I'm like, oh, dismal life. I had a good life, a wonderful mother. She remarried when I was 6 years old. My stepfather was wonderful, but there was this underlying grief that nobody knew existed. They're like, oh, you're a 2. You escaped that. Oh, it's so good that you escaped it. It was brewing and smoldering and made me a very, very anxious person. So, you said, what were the ramifications? It went from not just being PTSD, but like you said with your mother, and I'm so sorry for her loss. I'm sure you felt that growing up, that she had high anxiety, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just, I was diagnosed with complex PTSD when I was 35 years old after getting out of an abusive relationship. And, what has helped me realize, or what helped the most, was realizing that finding my community, for one thing, allowing myself to actually face it, to be like, okay, I had a guy I went out with when I was 30 years old who was like, you have every right to miss your dad. Where society says you lose somebody, oh, they've been gone for 3 months. You shouldn't have to worry about it. Move on. They'd want you to do better or whatever. It's like, when in actuality, like, that loss never goes away. I'm not saying sit there and wallow and stare at pictures at them, but like, those feelings come up because you always loved that person. With me, it was a little bit more complex because how could I love someone I don't know? It was still there, though. I mean, even as an early child, I was daddy's girl. And even though I don't remember it, ironically, my brother, who was 8 months old when my dad was killed, he was diagnosed with CPTSD when he was 40. And it's just, I feel like that not knowing, not being able to connect, not having that opportunity to love that person who's such a deep part of your life.
Yeah.
And it's not like my mom took it away. It's just, I didn't have the words to express, or I didn't know that I was grieving. But, from my interaction with other kids, as I've learned more, as I've grieved, as I've learned more about the grief process for little kids, I've become an advocate and have gotten involved with military families. And I have seen little miniature Alicias. I don't want to, that's actually, anyway, but like a lot of these kids who lost loved ones before they could remember, they feel extra anxious. They feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like being given that permission to grieve.
Do you think another part of it, Alicia, is like, you block it out, you can't remember it, but the thing that you notice maybe is that the grief and of everybody else, like your mother, and that kind of, you as a small kid, you would be aware of that something has happened, and somehow it just registers in you. The shock of other people is a part of what forms in you. I don't know how to say it, but
subconscious.
Yeah, yeah. Because
possibly
I've got somebody in my family. I won't say who because it'll. But they experienced trauma when she was actually in the womb as a baby, and she suffers from anxiety and all this stuff and like PTSD. She wasn't even born when it was like a war situation, and just everybody was just completely terrified, and yeah, I mean that just shocked me that the effects that trauma has are just so huge that even an unborn child comes out with major anxiety and PTSD and stuff. It's like, where else does it come from? It's just crazy. Wow. So you've gone through all of that, and then you said, and then I decided to face it. So what was the steps you took where you were going to accept that you were grieving and missing your dad, and then maybe dealing with it? What was the turning point, and what did you do?
Well, I had a few. One thing I just want to share is that it got to a point where I was able to open up and talk to my mom when I was about 11 and start to kind of ask questions about my dad. And I had some cool spiritual experiences where I felt connected to him. So that was part of it. I'd have things pop up in my life that I could not explain other than go, that must be my dad. So I'd have little things pop up along the way. And then when I was 30 years old, I went out on a date with this guy. So my dating life was a disaster because I was still dealing with these things. And but he had just lost his mom a couple months before, and I'm like, oh, this isn't the same. I lost my dad when I was 2, but it's totally different. Like I don't remember him, so I can't grieve him. He's like, are you kidding me? You have every right to miss him. You don't have those memories. That gave me permission, and that's when I was like, okay, I was able to allow myself to feel those feelings. And then the next thing he said was, well, because he asked what happened to my dad, and he said, well, he was a narcotics officer in the Navy who was killed by a guy who pled insanity who got away with it. And he's like, and then what else? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you need to find out what happened with your dad. So it was almost kind of like this stranger opened the door, and he's like, well, yeah, duh, this is what you need to do. And it all went, I don't want to say downhill, uphill from there. And
I guess you're going into an area that's going to upset you a great deal. But it's kind of like a place you need to go to. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. Well, the thing is, just being, I guess, validated that my pain was real. I'm like, I've already felt it. Let's find out what really happened. And that's what's opened the door to healing, was like owning it, owning my pain, and then being like, okay, I need to learn more about this because I'm kind of in the dark here.
Yeah, so. And then, so do you want to tell us about what you discovered as to what actually did happen?
That's in my book.
Do I have to buy the book to find out, or?
Yeah, the book. There's a chapter on my website that you can get a free chapter. We don't know when it's going to be published, but in a nutshell, we did find my dad's killer, who was at large. I was always afraid of that, and I thought that was irrational.
My God! So he's still alive?
He was, yes, he was.
Is he still alive now?
No, he's not. So he died of natural causes. But I also was able to face the U.S. Navy, and it was my quest for justice. Did
they sweep it under the carpet and minimize, or did they come clean?
They minimized. Yeah. They minimized. So it was a fight. So, but I was able to bring peace to my family, and I hate the term closure, but just peace. And now I'm like, all these little kids out there who have gone through trauma deserve the right to grieve. They deserve to have that relationship. One of my biggest things in my book is like, whether you be religious, agnostic, atheist, whatever, whether you believe that they're with you in your heart or they're really with you, I believe that everybody deserves the right to have that relationship and the right to cry on the anniversary of the day they died if they feel like it. And there's nothing more freeing than to be like, I'm allowed these feelings. I'm allowed this connection. Yeah.
Have a big ugly cry, as they say. It's much better than bottling it up. And tell us about your speaking, Alicia. First of all, thank you for sharing that. That was very, I don't know.
Intense.
It was intense, and I just have empathy for what you've got through, and I think it's great because this is going to speak to people that have gone through this, and just like the guy that kind of helped you. Are you still with him, by the way?
No, okay. That didn't go anywhere, but I did get married almost 5 years ago. So my husband is wonderful. So.
Yeah. Well, he shared his kind of reality, and it helped you, and you doing the same is going to help people. Tell us about your speaking. Where do you speak, and who do you speak to?
I speak online. I'm open to speaking engagements. I've done several different events since COVID. It's been a little bit sparse, but you can contact me on angelinarlington.com or unlikelycourage.com, and I'm open to virtual or in person. So.
And you have previously spoken at A Reason to Stand. What's A Reason to Stand?
A Reason to Stand is, they haven't done live events recently since COVID, but the person who started A Reason to Stand, her name is Ashley Boyson. Her husband was murdered by his girlfriend's husband, and leaving her with 5 teeny kids. And so she started this healing seminar where she'd bring in different speakers who had gone through trauma or whatever to help empower other people. So I've spoken for her a couple times. So. And
you've spoken at the Inspired Writers, Feisty Goddess Gala, and Assistance Program for Survivors, Tragedy Assistance. Tell us about TAPS.
TAPS. Okay, I have not spoken for them, but I have been an advocate for them. Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors was one of the biggest game changers in my life. It's a military organization. Well, it's an organization for those who lost loved ones who served in the U.S. military. And that is where I'm sure, Lydia will be able to talk. Like, you find your community, you find people who get you. I was able to find people who understood me completely. And they have tools and they've got retreats, and it's just amazing. Yeah, I've been able to be an advocate for them.
I mean, nobody, even a therapist, like you talk to somebody that's never gone through pain or trauma, even though they're trying to help. I feel like speaking to somebody who just knows exactly, have gone through loss like this they're the ones that get. It's like when the veterans talk about. They really need to speak to other veterans who have experienced combat. Nobody else can understand, but so that sounds like a great organisation, TAPS. So that's for military people, veterans, is it? Veterans' wives and husbands.
Just survivors. Well,
yeah.
The witnesses at my wedding, there are 2 widows, and they both had little boys who didn't remember their dads. And I was able to, I got to know them through TAPS, and I had conversations with their little kids at their dad's graves. Well, especially one in particular, his picture's actually on my website, where he just broke down and he's just like, I don't remember. And I'm not trying to be like, look at me, but it was so rewarding to be able to ask them questions and say, do you feel like this? Do you feel like this? And him to be able to wide-eyed nod his head and just to be able to tell him, it's going to be okay, and this is what you have the right to. Things that I wish I would have had years ago. So. Yeah,
100%. Well, thank you very much, Alicia, for sharing that. That was wonderful. And Alicia's website will be in the show notes if you want to check that out, and check out her book to get the rest of her story, and also if you want to contact Alicia for speaking. Thank you, Alicia Johnson-Niles.
Thank you, Julian. Really appreciate you.
No worries. All right, let's pop over to Ibiza. Hi, Lydia. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to, and why are you in Ibiza, and why am I not in Ibiza?
Sure. Firstly, Alicia, that's a really powerful story. So, thank you. Thank you for sharing. So, I'm a master life coach and a healer. I've been helping people make their lives even better since 2010. And in 2023, I had a pretty crazy year of ascension, which involved almost 100 activations, energy activations with spirit. 7 blue cloaked beings appeared to me and gave me a message about my life. And over that year, then I opened up the gifts to read light code and to channel, and landed me now really in the healing and working with people. I am a channel for the divine energy. It's an energy transference, which helps people really, really, really heal and receive miracles in their life.
And you've got something coming up called Alive in April. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes. So my signature event, I run it once a year, and this really is about breathing life back into the areas of life that need it most, and finding your purpose, really uncovering the blocks that have been getting in the way, and then understanding what true abundance is. So it's really where I do my biggest work in a group, and my promise is on that day, you will change. You will leave that event as a different person. It's in London, 5th of April, and you can grab tickets on my website.
Wicked. And I'll put the links in the show notes. And whereabouts is it in London? And how long is it? And how long are the sessions and all that stuff?
Well, it's actually Richmond, which, if you're from London, isn't actually officially London, but it's still on the tube
stop
line.
On the tube, yeah, I remember Richmond.
Yeah, and it's all day, so it's like 9 till 6. It's a full day of inner journeying, inner work, transformation, so that you leave with clarity, direction, and that kind of surge of energy to really know who you are and what you're here to do.
Awesome. And are you the primary facilitator, or are there other facilitators?
Yeah, well, I'm the primary facilitator. It's my event, but I'm blessed to run this event with one of my best friends. We've been doing it for 5-6 years now. So she kind of hosts, compares, and I deliver the content.
Awesome. Well, that sounds interesting. And what types of people do you want to help the most at your events? Who are you speaking to?
So generally, it's people who have created what would look like, a good life, right? They've got the job, they've obtained a level of success, they've got good friends, and really life should be good. They should be happy, but they've reached a point where they're asking these big questions like, is this really it? Is this really it? And what will make me truly happy? So there's a sense that there's more out there, but they don't know how to find it or where to start.
Yes, well, a lot of people out there searching for answers, and we talked to Alicia about her journey as well. And if you're in the London area, it's in April. Tickets still available. Richmond, one of the stops on the London Red Line. Is it the Red Line?
District. The Green Line.
The Green Line, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're in London or in the surrounds of London, or if you want to just travel down and check it out, check out, first of all, the website, and maybe have a chat to Lydia if you've got any questions about it, and she can answer all of your questions. And that's coming up on the 5th of April. 5th of April? Yeah, 5th of April. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that, Lydia, and I wish you all the best of that, Lydia Kimmerling. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao.